Are you struggling to rank higher on the hyper-competitive Google leaderboard? Or are you wanting to optimize your SEO efforts to stay ahead of the game? If any of that has struck a chord, then sit tight as we've got the goods to make sure that you're ranking and connecting with more customers. So today I'll be covering what on-page SEO is, how to satisfy your audience through EAT, how to make an impactful title tag, the power of internal linking, and a bunch more. What's good, guys? It's Trav here from Neighborhood, where we help brands find, sell, and keep their people. As anyone who runs a website knows, it's pretty ruthless out there with all the competition. Gone are the days with all the keyword stuffing and other black hat trickery. To rank in search engine organic results page, SERP these days, you need to outwork your rivals, and that means optimizing your website for a whole bunch of different search engine optimization or SEO factors. If you're just hopping on the SEO train, then there's three primary components of SEO that you should know about, though not all we will cover in this video. Off-page SEO, technical SEO, which will include a link in the description below, and on-page SEO, which we'll be covering today. Off-page SEO has gotten a lot of love in the recent years. Things like backlinks, blog posts, or guest posts, and social media marketing are all still worth doing as a part of an SEO strategy. But all that work won't pay off if you're not at the top of the SEO elements. Google's SEO algorithm is consistently evolving, and old tricks aren't reliable anymore if you want to optimize your on-page SEO performance. So what is on-page SEO? On-page SEO are the internal parts of your website that you can use to boost your search engine rankings. Search engines need to crawl and understand your page so that they can rank you and index it. On-page SEO are various things that search engine look at to do its job, keeping the end user as their top priority. They are keen to please you and keep you coming back and searching for more, and they will do this in the only way they know how, by getting you results. Though they've got a lot of pages to rank. To optimize this process, they crawl web pages like a fleet of terrifying digital spiders and look for several factors. Some of the on-page SEO elements it considers are headlines, like the title of a blog, content, the copy and images within the blog, internal and external links of which direct you to other people's content, site speed which measures load time, and mobile friendliness, so it's a smooth experience for when you're looking on your mobile phone. If you're wondering how to improve your on-page SEO, you've got to get up to speed with these elements so Google can read and understand your site. If it seems a little bit daunting, don't sweat it, as we've put together a list of 10 essential on-page SEO elements that will help you drive sweet organic traffic to your page. So let's get started. First, we have EAT, or EAT. Apologies if you haven't had lunch, but it's not quite what you'd expect. Google's EAT first appeared in Google's 2014 Search Quality Guidelines. And what's interesting about EAT is that it's done by humans, not machines. Simply put, they review web pages and report on the quality. EAT stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. But what do these terms mean in the context of Google search engine results? Expertise looks at the content of an individual page and not the whole website. Google isn't very clear on its criteria used to judge the expertise, but it seems to favor expert authors and opinions, meaning that it can identify presumed content quality. Authoritative judges the website on two things: the authority of the content and the domain authority. Links from other websites or social media mentions boost your ranking too. A high domain authority is given to more prominent, well-known organizations like national broadcasters and government websites. And then we have trustworthiness, which focuses on the author of the content and the website, that it evaluates the integrity of all three. The idea here is to try and keep misleading and dubious information from ranking very high. Essentially, Google prioritizes content that doesn't use misleading or clickbait headlines, doesn't contain misleading facts or errors, uses original, fresh reporting, analysis, and news, is well written and produced, and provides value compared to other similar pages. So with this in mind, it's worth questioning whether you have ideal content for your potential customers, and if this creates the most enjoyable experience for visitors while pleasing the digital Spider-Man that crawls your website. So second, we have title tag. Each page of your website has some HTML code that is known as title tag. Now, when you type the search terms into your search engine, it returns a bunch of results. The title tag is the blue headline that you click on, meaning it's one of the first pieces of information that the users and the search engines get when they see what you're all about. Title tags should let the user know what they're about to click on. And if it's an article, it might contain a headline and the domain name. Overall, title tags aren't huge on-page SEO elements, but if you get them wrong, they're definitely gonna hurt your rankings. Now, there's some best SEO practices to optimize your title tags. 1, stick to 50 to 60 characters. Otherwise, the title tag will be cut off short when displayed on Google. Number 2, don't use the same title tag on different pages. Google kind of sees this as duplicate content. 3, make sure that you use the keyword or topic that you're trying to rank for. A title tag should be a lean, accurate description of the page, which will also appear when shared on social media. So give them nothing but straight facts. We definitely recommend getting the links right if you're wanting to increase your click-through rates and drive traffic to your site to drive conversion right up. So 3rd is meta description. Though sounding complex, it really isn't. It's the text that appears right below your title tag on the SERP. You can have a meta description of any size, but Google usually cuts them off at around 160 characters. That's slightly longer than the old Twitter character limit, so it's enough space to sell your readers on what the article is about. Google has said that the meta descriptions aren't a huge ranking factor, but they're pretty important for users. When the SERP spits back some results at you, a well-written descriptive meta description stands out. Additionally, research suggests that pages with meta descriptions get around 6% more clicks than pages without. So if you want to optimize your click-through rate, then make sure that you have a punchy and appealing meta description that helps the user know about your article, product, or service. 4th is heading tags. Heading tags are one of the more crucial on-page SEO elements. Again, they're a piece of HTML code that lets the user and search engines understand what's actually on the page. Headline tags are broken up into H1, H2, H3, etc. tags. H1 is the headline, while H2 are the sub-headlines, with H3 and 4, etc. used for other subsections. Heading tags are a great way to break up content and make it easily skimmable for the reader. Additionally, they are able to help search engines understand the structure of your page. Tags are killer places to put keywords. Obviously, your H1 and H2 headings should contain your primary keywords. But if you have other words or phrases you'd like to target, throw them in the H3, H4, and H5 tags. Sit back and profit. Next is URL. The URL is another one of those on-page SEO elements that deserve your attention. The URL helps users and search engines understand what a web page is about. Just like the title tags, the aim here is to keep them tight and punchy. It's all about driving user intent. It's important here to make sure that they contain the primary keyword always. Like other on-page SEO elements mentioned, do yourself a favor and make things easy for the user and for Google to understand. Here's an example of a good URL. As you can see, it includes the category of the shop being books and the genre, versus this URL, which keeps it broad and undistinguished. Again, this is all about giving users and search engines the information that they need. Also, if you have a website that sells different products, these categories can help a search engine index each section. In the example that I showed you before, if you sell books, records, and t-shirts, give them their own area with the URL. Number 6 is keywords. An effective content strategy goes beyond pretty pictures and great website design. It's also about keywords, used to promote who and what you do. Keywords are the words, topics, or phrases that people type into the search engine to find what they're looking for. For example, if I wanted to find a hotel, I might type in Hotel Melbourne. From here, the search engine will interpret that I'm trying to find a hotel in Melbourne and deliver me some relevant results there. So from there, I can take out a mortgage and fund a few nights stay. Using keywords to rank won't be dramatic new information for anyone. But if you are trying to improve on-page SEO organically, you'll need to dive a little bit deeper. Keywords are essential on-page SEO elements, and choosing the right keywords to target requires a bit of research. For example, if you run an online bookstore, you want to rank for the term books, but it's a difficult word to rank for because it's super competitive. And as a result, you'll also want to try and rank for other more specific associated words and phrases. Another thing to be aware of is keyword cannibalization. Yep, that's right, your pages can start eating each other's rankings. Let me explain a little bit more. While you might think that having several pages targeting the same keyword is a good idea, unfortunately, it's not. When Google indexes your website, pages targeting the same keyword end up competing with each other, causing all of them to rank a little bit lower. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell so that you can stay up to date with all of our latest videos delivered every week directly into your inbox. So next up is alt tags. Did you know that you can use images for SEO optimization? Adding media is great, and there's one problem. Search engines can read text, but their ability to interpret images and video is limited, so you need to help them out, which is where alt tags come into play. Each piece of multimedia you use on your website should have an alt tag. Why? Number one, accessibility. Alt tags mean that users with disabilities can understand your visual content. Visually impaired users use screen readers to access the content. It's nice to accommodate this demographic, and Google will reward you for making your site more accessible. Number two is user experience. Alt text helps your audience have a better user experience. People with low bandwidth internet connections or bad smartphone reception often face a broken link icon where the image should be. If you have an alt tag, then they'll be able to see what the image was meant to show. Number three, image traffic. Image traffic is one of the more unexploited on-page SEO elements. Alt tags can turn images into search results and appear in Google Images, which is a great way to drive more organic visitors to your website. Image search is continually growing, especially for clothes, accessories, and similar e-commerce stores. Number eight, we've got internal linking. If you want some quick wins underneath your belt, then this is where making amendments to your internal linking will come into play. Internal linking refers to a hyperlink that goes to another page on your website. Internal links help search engine crawlers to find content that is related to each web page. By understanding pages in content with each other, the search engine can have a deeper understanding of the focus of your website. Additionally, internal links are good for users. They can find more information and go in depth on those subjects on your website. If the user stays on your website, then it's a sign to Google that your content is worthwhile and trustworthy. A bit of a footnote though, beware of dead links. Dead links or broken links are hyperlinks on a website page that don't work because the destination of the website was removed or the page is behind a firewall. Dead links can encourage your website visitors to go elsewhere for information, increasing your bounce rate. Number 9, mobile friendliness. Mobile phones account for more than 55% of online searches, and best believe Google knows this. As a result, pages that optimize for mobile are seen as more helpful to users, and in fact, Google will actually rank your website based on mobile rather than the desktop. Mobile phones have smaller screens and often rely on the phone network instead of high-speed broadband. So if you want a mobile-friendly page, consider these factors. Firstly, page speed. Many mobile users are using their devices on the go. They need pages to load quickly because, let's be honest, we're impatient creatures, and if the info isn't delivered to us in seconds, your bounce rate might shoot up, and nobody wants that. Next is responsive design. So responsive design helps your website adapt to whichever device is requesting your web page. Using a desktop version of your website on a smartphone isn't a great experience whatsoever. This also ties into user experience. There's a heap of elements that go into mobile-friendly SEO design. Thumb-friendly design that accommodates even the clumsiest of users, font size that's easy to read, and content that is effortless to navigate are essential to keep users on your website. Then there's local search. People use local search when they're out and about trying to buy products, find bars, restaurants, and all those other services. Let's just say you run a bike repair shop. Target keywords like bike repair in whatever city to help your page show up when prospective customers are near you. Finally, for on-page SEO is page speed. Page speed is one of the most important on-page SEO elements, and it's a huge factor for Google rankings. Did you know that around 1 in 4 users bounce from a page that takes more than 4 seconds to load? Additionally, statistics show that almost half of all users won't return to a poorly performing website. No website can afford to ignore these statistics, so here's a few suggestions to add a bit of zip to your website. First, server speed. Most websites don't own their own servers, so this isn't an easy problem to fix. However, you can cut this problem at the pass by choosing a good server in the first place. If you need some recommendations, hit us up in the description below. Using a well-ranked and reputable hosting service is a really good start. Additionally, you can run a few tests to find out where a majority of your ideal users are. Once you know that, then you can choose the data center location near them, meaning a shorter distance and in turn, faster page speed. Second is image compression. Images are one of the most common things that cause slow page speed. People love visual content and they're great for SEO, but it can seriously drop your page speed, so watch the size of your files that you're using. Remember, most people are accessing your website via a smartphone, so make sure you use an image compression where you can. Take advantage of all of the image compression software out there, so even image-heavy pages can load extremely fast. Additionally, there are lots of plugins that help you defer images. That means that they'll only load as the viewer scrolls through the page, i.e. only when they need them. Third is cache. A good cache policy can increase page speed. Cache stores images and logos on the user's site for the first time they use it. And when they come back, the page will just load a lot faster. Finally, lean themes and plugins. When you set up your website, the temptation is to load it up with cool, complex themes and advanced plugins. But if your service is slow, then this is a luxury that you cannot afford. Some of the best websites are streamlined and focused on delivering outstanding performance. Sliders, animations, and other functions are useless if the customer keeps bouncing from your website because of its sluggish performance. So there you have it. These are some on-page SEO elements that affect search engine ranking. It's vital to get these fundamentals right if you want to have pages that people find through organic search. Of course, technical and off-page elements need some love too. Everything needs to work in harmony to give you top-class performance. Some of these on-page SEO elements won't always have a huge effect on your rankings. However, taken together, they can make an extremely big difference. If you found this video helpful, then feel free to share it with someone that you know that needs a hand with their SEO strategy. You can also subscribe to our blog where you'll find a bunch more tools, tips, and templates to help you find, sell, keep your people just like Neighborhood does. And that's it from me. Happy marketing.